Next up we have Venture Lounge, Batch 4, Health and MedTech.
It is another Venture Lounge session, and this time around, we are going to be looking at health and medtech. That is an area I'm personally very interested in. First of all, before we get into listening to our startups pitch, I need to introduce you to the investors that are going to be listening to them pitch. First up, we have Hannah Besves, investor at Heal Capital in Germany. We have Ksenia Sholina, New Products Development Director at a Skinive Life Group in Russia. We have Tonko Veda, who is Director of Health at Rockstart in the Netherlands. We have Nana Bit Avragim, founder at iHospital InnoLab, mentor at EIT Health in Germany. And we have Shinichi Nikuni, managing partner at Nordic Ninja in Finland. And by the way, I think Nordic Ninja is a great name. So we're going to get into this. Now, how does it work? Well, here's what happens. The startups are going to get 5 minutes to pitch to our investors. After that 5 minutes, our investors are going to get 5 minutes to either give them their opinion or give them some advice or ask a question for clarity. So it's going to be 5 minutes, then 5 minutes. And that's how we're going to do this. It's not a pitch competition. Nobody's walking away with an oversized check at the end of this. But it is an opportunity for our investors to get to know these startups and to decide if they want to have more conversations with them, which I think is awesome. So we're going to get started. Our first startup is Microneedles. Microneedles are from Russia. They are an innovative cosmeceutical epidermal delivery platform. Lots of long words there. Tested me for a second. So, Microneedles, please wait for your introduction slide to go away. You've already showed your presentation, so you're ready. Just wait for the countdown, and then when the countdown is over, you can start pitching, and I can start timing you. Remember, you've got 5 minutes.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for giving us this opportunity to pitch here our project. Well, we've developed a platform for delivering active ingredients into the skin, precisely into the epidermis, using so-called biosoluble microneedles. Our technology allows us to make a wide variety of products, for example, skin rejuvenation products in cosmetics, skin regeneration, scarring prevention, and wound healing products in dermatology, and even vaccination and skin therapy products in pharmaceutical industry. I don't want to brag, but last year at the World Economic Forum, Microneedles were recognized as top 10 emerging technologies of 2020. Speaking of proof of concept, we've tested our platform with Bioec Lab in France, specializing on skin. And we have confirmed safety and efficiency of our platform. The results of our studies were published last year in the International Journal of Cosmetic Science. We've already launched our pilot product in cosmetics. It's an anti-aging microneedle patch made of hyaluronic acid and other active ingredients. It improves skin texture and skin barrier functions, protects skin tissues from aging, and reduces puffiness and dark circles. well, by now we have sold over 250,000 of sets of patches with a total sales of $1.3 million. And this is only in Russia. By now, we already have 10 different microneedle products for different areas with different compounds, and we are receiving high customer satisfaction and recurrent sales. Speaking of regulation, since our microneedles penetrate the skin, they are considered as a borderline product. Therefore, their classification highly depends on the local regulation. For example, in Russia, in Europe, and in Middle East, we may be registered as cosmetics because the regulation is pretty soft. However, in US and in China, for example, we can be registered only as medical device. Therefore, well, we are taking into account this regulation framework, and our strategy is as follows. This year, we are planning to register our cosmetic product in Europe and in MENA region, in United Arab Emirates, and this year we are also starting preclinical trials of our dermatology product in the United States with the FDA. Well, speaking of pharmaceutical industry, it highly depends on the strategic partner and regulatory framework that is only forming. Few words about our team. Vasily Zvezdin is our co-founder and chief scientific officer. He has a PhD in medical science, and he has worked in a drug delivery lab in Georgia Tech, United States. Meg Haim is our scientific and strategic advisor. She has worked as the head of strategy in Sanofi Pharmaceuticals, in Bristol Myers Squibb, and in biomedics. Well, speaking for myself, I joined the project first as a seed investor in 2018, and later I was invited into this project as a CEO, where I could apply my management and financial skills. Right now, we are raising the investment round of up to $5 million, and we are planning to use these funds for European market launch, for preclinical and clinical studies for FDA, and for GMP production site in the United States. So maybe that's all in brief for 5 minutes. I'm open to your questions, if any.
Excellent, thank you so much. Well, let's go first to Nana.
Thank you so much. It's quite interesting, the area which is quite crowded, but in the same time is growing quite fast. Tell me something about your IP. So the product has a specific, is it proprietary technology?
Yes,
so
of course.
You own your patent or you license that first, and the second, so what add value apart of longevity and anti-aging effect you offer to users, let's say? What else? Since you mentioned the pharma company as a potential strategic partnership opportunity, so what else can you add on a part of the obvious skin regeneration effect? Thank you.
Well, first, speaking of the IP, of course, we have patents. We have some patent applications in the United States and in several countries. We are patenting both the product and the manufacturing process and manufacturing equipment because it's also our proprietary technology. We also have a separate patent for immunization patch, for vaccine patch, because it's a bit more sophisticated, using the different microneedle arrays, different microneedles for delivering vaccine into the skin of the aged patients. In terms of dermatology and pharma, well, we are providing the platform for delivering the active ingredient into the skin because it differs highly from the injections, because injection is in dermal level and in muscle. And our platform is a proved way to deliver the active ingredient into the epidermis. It's very efficient for some cases because sometimes, for example, speaking of immunization, the skin is a much more efficient way to deliver, for example, vaccines, because the Langerhans cells, the concentration of Langerhans cells is very high in the skin, and you can receive a high immune response delivering vaccine into the skin, not into the muscle, for example. We also can provide solutions for example, some melanoma treatment because we can deliver different molecules, for example, monoclonal antibodies or even DNA or RNA fragments into the skin, because this way is sometimes it's more efficient. Why our platform is good for that? Because the skin itself is working as a barrier for the high molecules, because you can't get them through the skin using creams or some other forms. Our microneedles allow to do that.
Thanks a lot. Perfect. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Tonko, I think you have something to say here.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the go-to-market model and your and also on your business model?
Of course, we first, as cosmetics was the easiest market and the fastest market to go into, we launched the cosmetic products, and we are having some sales for 2 years in Russia. Right now, we're going for the European market because we are receiving in June. We are receiving the registration as a cosmetic device for Europe. Speaking of dermatology, of course, this pathway, because in the United States, we can be registered only as medical device. We're going into the dermatological area, and we have already elaborated our roadmap for FDA, and we're registering as a mechanical medical device for different with different claims. Right now we're elaborating this part. About market strategy, speaking of actually the therapeutic and medical area, we are right now developing the business development strategy, trying to understand what applications would be the best for us, where is the market share or the market volume the biggest, and the competitive landscape not as high as it could be.
In United States still.
I can tell about a few words about our competitive landscape, because right now there are only about 10 different brands of microneedle products in cosmetics, but all of them are made using so-called drop split technology. It's a Korean technology. These so-called microneedles, they require long procedure time, up to 6 hours, and actually this technology, as you can see, it doesn't allow their microneedles to go into the skin. Well, it depends, because it's connected with the size of the microneedle, the mechanical properties. Our production technology is different, and our microneedles, in terms of its mechanical properties and its form and size, it actually penetrates the skin and is reaching the stratum basale, the basal membrane of the epidermis. And our procedure time for cosmetic product is only 25 minutes. During this time, over 50% of the microneedle array dissolves by the skin ferments, skin enzymes. That's why our product provides both mechanical effect, because it stimulates the dermal layer, and the biochemical effect, because the microneedle dissolves in the skin, giving the epidermis cells nutrition.
Excellent, thank you. Nana, I know you want to ask one more question. I'm going to make a request. It should be as long as a tweet, and Microneedles, your response should be as long as a tweet.
Great, thank you so much. So where are you incorporated? I'm just mix it up. So in France, in Europe, and Russia, or in the United States?
We are incorporated in Delaware.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much to Microneedles. Great first pitch. Let's move on to the next startup. So our next startup is from my old home country. I actually Brexited a long time ago, but of course my heart is still in the United Kingdom. And they are called SMARTYMED. SMARTYMED is an XR Doctor Medic haptic hologram platform. That's a lot of buzzwords. So I'm looking forward to that being explained. SMARTYMED, please, as before, wait for your introduction screen to go away and wait for the countdown, but make sure you're sharing your presentation and get ready to start your pitch as soon as we count you in.
Thank you. So technical team here, please share your screen.
Hi everyone, my name is Denis Debsky. So I'm presenting you a project SMARTYMED. So it's XR telehealth and medical training platform enhanced with haptics, which means tactile feedback, 3D printing, and 5G. So we're addressing a couple of problems that exist in the market at the moment. So there is a problem with medical data visualization. There is a problem with memory skills. It's quite a big shortage. Also, there are several countries where patient education is highly required for the patients, just because they like paying a lot of money to to get the surgery and everything. So also two more problems, which is lack of knowledge and knowledge sharing on complex surgeries and other complex procedures, and huge need of telesurgery in developing countries and rural communities. So to address these questions and problems, we created SMARTYMED, which is, as I said, a telehealth and surgery training platform mostly based on augmented reality and using Microsoft HoloLens devices, which is augmented reality and mixed reality devices where you can see artificial objects on top of the real environment. So we divided our platform into several solutions, starting from SMARTYMED training and ending up in SMARTYMED telehealth. So only one of them is require FDA certification. Others are not, doesn't require, just because they can be used in education process and training process, so forth. So our unique selling point is, one of the unique selling points is actually haptic feedback. It means tactile perception. So when you can touch the hologram, you can differentiate various parts of the hologram and parts of the, for example, specific organ or tissue or bones. So it means that you will be able to feel it and understand it better. Also, we have, as I said, full cycle product. We eliminate distraction of surgeon during the training and the surgery itself because we're using mixed reality. We have patent pending solutions, so a couple of provisional patents at the moment. And also on top of that, we're using 3D printing and 5G. I'll be telling a bit more later. So we focusing on two markets. First of all, a medical education market, which is almost like $40 billion market, and also growing market, which is called like augmented reality in healthcare market. So we're targeting several sectors. First of all, it's like hospitals, clinics, universities, simulation centers, science and research labs. In terms of specialties, we're starting with dentistry and maxillofacial surgery, but we'll be getting into plastic surgery and cardiology, which is quite difficult to start with. So yeah, why now? Actually, there are people, like a lot of people asking why now. So market is ready, mixed reality is growing, our technology has been validated. We executed a wide rate, several successful surgeries using our solution. At the moment, it's like in 2 countries only, but it's expanding. So commercial 5G networks already available, and there is still a problem with shortage of skillful surgeon. So our quite a big time milestones is actually we built proof of concept in April 2020, November 2020. Yeah, we made several pilot cases already. We now planning pilot cases in 5 countries, US, UK, Italy, Canada, and Australia. Also started looking into external investment and team expansion. So the team at the moment up to 15 people, depends on the projects. We're launching sales in June. In July, we're going to be testing our solution with 5G partners like Verizon and University of Glasgow. We have letter of intent with them, and we also will be running research project with European Space Agency and Canadian Space Agency later this year. Our business model is freemium access to the platform. It means web platform. So our system combined consisted from two parts: web portal where doctors store and manage data, and HoloLens application. HoloLens application starts from 1,500, 1.5 thousand euros per student, and ending up in 15K per enterprise license. We're also aiming to build a custom units for like surgery, training classes, laboratories, and so forth. So we forecasting our revenue approximately at $600,000 this year, and we'll be, we'll be adjusting our forecast for the next couple of years. So our competitors is quite well established. First of all, it's MEDvidi and Augmedix, which is already have FDA clearance. They're mostly focusing on spinal surgery and neurosurgery, which is quite difficult to get into. Augmedix having their own device. So there are multiple competitors in virtual reality market, but we treat them as our partners, I would say. So our advantage, we
just 10 seconds left, Dennis. So you have to hurry.
No problem. Thanks. So our team is ex-co-founders at XR and media companies that been sold to Mail.ru and Facebook. Myself was ex-co-founder at Tesla Suit, which is smart clothing company with NASA Formula One, Accenture, Sanofi as key clients. In our main major founder, he is like our visionary. Medical core team, up to 4 doctors at the moment. So our biz dev and marketing strategy is relying on distributors network and becoming, opinion leaders. We will be using channel marketing and account-based marketing. So we have ongoing discussions with quite a big boys, including Verizon, Ministry of Health of Italy, and UK as well. So at the moment, we're looking at relevant partners network, medical certification expertise, and additional financing, because we, at the moment, totally bootstrapped. So thank you very much. That's pretty much all.
All right. Thanks, Dennis. So Hannah, I know you have a question.
Hello. Thank you so much for the pitch. My first question is, do you require to be used in surgery rooms as such, or for medical training, do you require any certification?
We require FDA certification for using our platform in surgery execution. It means that to bring the Microsoft HoloLens into operating room, we require regulatory bodies actually require certification. Other products doesn't require, just because it's mostly regarding training, education, telehealthcare, and so forth. But we also looking into additional requirements in various countries. So that's why we're requesting for additional medical expertise as well.
I have a follow-on question, or should I wait? Just for
no,
the organizer.
Hannah, go ahead. You go ahead.
Yes, and you said you are already used for surgeons or for surgeries. This is which part of the product? Yes.
It actually was a surgery, but it came as a part of innovation projects where we were testing the general efficiency, the feedback, collecting the feedback from doctors, and there was a permission from the patients to doctors to use our platform, so to share the medical data with us, and so forth. It was a quite, I would say, a pilot project mostly.
And where do you stand with the medical certification today?
So actually, we're gonna do medical certification on SMARTYMED surgery product later, probably like second quarter of 2022.
Excellent,
do you see any last question, do you see any clinical risks here or any risk to get this certification?
Yeah, there are risks, but as we see already, our competitors already have FDA clearance. So we're gonna be, I would say, copying, at least looking at their approach of getting into certification. We have all the, scientific knowledge based, publications and everything that confirm that we can get it quite easily. We're talking to several certification firms that actually helping to get a FDA clearance. So there are no major risks, but it's just gonna take time.
Awesome questions, Hannah. Thank you so much. Nana, please go ahead.
Obviously, one question, a very short one. So thank you so much. It's quite a pretty crowded market, and it's luckily. I just wonder why you talking about the outcomes and the value of your product. You mentioned that the especially developing countries will be mostly get the most benefits from your products. Why do you focus on the West European and US Canada market, since you have a great opportunity to scale up in Latin America? And the second thing is just I can introduce you to Rafael Grossman, one of the leading worldwide a surgeon using the Google glasses, and actually UK market as a Proximity. I just missed it, Proximity, which just recently fundraised Series A. Fantastic company. UK market is the best to launch the product. So just the question regarding the Latin American market and the developing countries, I would see a huge potential for your product there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nana. Yeah, it's totally right. So let me answer these two questions. So first of all, developing countries. Yeah.
We are running out of time. And I know that Shin wants to ask a question as well. So maybe Dennis, Nana, you could take the answers offline. Shin, please go ahead and ask a question.
Okay, so maybe quick questions regarding the requirements. So you mentioned like you choose for HoloLens, Microsoft HoloLens, but is there a solution is like a device agnostic, so you can go beyond HoloLens? That's one question. Then the second question much simpler. 5G. Do you need 5G? Or like it can be used already for under the 4G environment? Thanks.
Yeah, first of all, yeah, we are expanding into Magic Leap devices as well. So it's it's an American company, and there is also a couple of Asia companies. One of them in Real, it's a Chinese company. So ex-founders, not founders, but ex-employees of Magic Leap. So yeah, we focus in on Microsoft HoloLens, but just because it already have quite a big market share in medical sector, and they already been tested, validated, and so forth. But yeah, we will be expanding into other mixed range devices. Second question is 5G is crucial when we're talking about telesurgery applications and telehealthcare applications, especially if doctors communicate via like several thousand miles, hundreds of thousands miles. And it's crucial to get real-time data update and to see, real-time collaboration on the same hologram. To, to consult your colleagues, for example, or to perform a pre-operative planning, for example, or surgery execution in real time. Yeah, 4G is quite enough, but 5G is preferable.
Very clear.
Thank you, Dennis. And thanks, Chin, for the questions. We're going to move on to our next startup. Thank you to SMARTYMED. But next up from Poland, we welcome GlucoActive. GlucoActive is a non-invasive blood glucometer. So, GlucoActive.
So please.
Hi, my name is Robert Stachurski. I'm the CEO of GlucoActive company. According to World Health Organization, 10% of global population is suffering from diabetes, which gives us almost 422 million patients globally. From the other side, up to 20% of population is undiagnosed. So this means that they are suffering from diabetes or pre-diabetic, but they are not conscious about that. And all of this can lead to almost 3.7 million deaths yearly. The huge social impact is also reflected in the value of our market, because according to Statista, values of European blood glucometer market is worth around $2.1 billion. When we look at the global glucometer market, it is over $22 billion. So there are two main reasons behind the problems of blood glucose monitoring. It is painful when you need to prick yourself even 20 times a day. And secondly, people feel fear of diagnostics, especially in the medical offices. So this leads to poor quality of life and even premature deaths. In contrast to traditional glucometers, which causes pain, our solution, we can say, is a pure gain because it uses completely non-invasive laser light. It penetrates the skin and reacts only with the glucose molecules and allows us to determine what is the blood glucose concentration in the current moment. We have 3 versions of the devices in the pipeline. A stationary for the professional use, like medical facilities, pharmacies, and generally publicly available places. And 2 wearable devices for patients with first and second type of diabetes and sports enthusiasts. Our technology is currently secured with 2 global PCT patent submissions, and another 4 smaller patents are on the way. We have already operational devices which have passed first stage of the initial clinical experiment on 60 people, and now we have started the medical certification process and adjustment to the final production. GlucoStation device is the first device that we are planning to enter to the market to commercialize. We have also already operational device, GlucoFit devices, the armband. However, due to limited resources, we focus on commercialization of the first device, and later then the next product that we will commercialize will be the armband. GlucoActive allows patients to measure glucose concentration, let's say with similar relative error as strip glucometers. However, in the future, we plan to achieve accuracy even better than the laboratory tests. Our first clinical trials results proved that the technology is working, is safe for the patients, and enough accurate for the CE directives and FDA certification. The mean relative error currently is below 10%. We want to win with our competition by offering the device that is, of course, non-invasive, painless, doesn't require any exchangeable elements, and offer continuous measurement. Currently, we have a long list of this pipeline. Some of them are already signed, some of them are during the negotiations, including licensing of the technology to global corporations, sales, for example, pharmacies, and cooperation with governmental institutions. And also we have finished 2 official corporate pilot programs with corporates, global corporates. We base our business model both on licensing of the technology and software subscription model. In 2021, we plan to close trade partnerships and finishing R&D process. In the middle of the next year, we want to start sales after getting the FDA and CE medical certification. And in 2023, starting from, we plan to commercialize different devices and also devices for other human blood factors. Currently, our team is made of 30 people, mostly specialists in optoelectronics, microelectronics, medicine, and business. And we are collecting our second round, already collected 1.5 million euro. And in order to close this round, we plan to get another 1.5 million euro, and this will be enough to finish the commercialization, get the certification, start sales, and manufacture the devices. So that's all.
Excellent. Thank you, Robert. I'm first going to go to Ksenia because we haven't heard from you yet. Hi, Ksenia. You're on mute at the moment.
I see, but I guess the question was not from my side. But I would like to commend this project is awesome, and if it can compete with Freestyle Libre, it's amazing. And I know that it's, I mean, the demand on the market is huge. So I just would like to wish all luck for the team. That's all. I will not steal the time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ksenia, for your comments. Hannah, I know you have questions.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much as well from my side. So my question now, in the continuous glucose monitoring space, Apple Watch is working on that to integrate in Apple Watch. So how do you see the competitive space, and especially like the tech giants like Apple Watch going into the space?
Yes, we are also discussing with competitors of Apple, let's say, in terms of commercializing our sensor into their devices, but this is completely different grade of the devices. Apple is working on, let's say, medical gadget, just like pulse oximeter in Apple Watches that could, with quite big measurement error, could measure, give some, let's say, idea about what is the glucose level for people that let's say are just healthy. However, in order to provide medical grade accuracy, it is much bigger deal, and it is not possible, according to the publications, to do this with the protoplasmatography or near infrared, like Apple is currently working on, or in the past also Huawei was working on it and failed.
And just quick follow-up question. In terms of the product offering itself, is it just a hardware, like your technology is concentrated in the sensor that you develop, or you offer end-to-end solution to people with diabetes?
Yes, we have, of course, 90% of the innovation is the hardware plus software. I mean, the algorithms for extracting the signal from the blood. We have also some partnerships with the software providers, because this is not our thing. We don't want to certify medical software. We will use, let's say, third-party software and provide our devices.
Clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Shin, I know you've got questions.
Hi. So my question is, the data you showed in the pitch, is it based on the GlucoStation, GlucoFit, or GlucoWear? Which device it was tested?
On the first device, GlucoStation. However, the technology is the same. Only, let's say, due to the sizes, there's different solutions to fix some problems, like with the temperature, with the real environment factors, and so on.
Okay, I understand this demonstration one. Then maybe one comment is in Finland, there's a small company called GlucoModium, which is not using the optic technology, but their approach is a bit different, but they're also working on this CG, continuous glucose monitoring device. So maybe you can have a look.
Yes, there's many companies that are working on this. However, few of them have some real results. One from Germany, one from China, and one from, let's say, Denmark. So there's a lot of different companies that are working on this. However, not many of them proved that their technology is working. So to be honest, I don't know GlucoModium.
Okay, then no worries.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Robert, and thank you to GlucoActive.
Sorry.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Have you tested your approach with patients? Are they open to change, to step over to your technology?
Yes, together with the initial clinical experiment, we also asked all of the patients if what are the feelings about the measurement, if they would, let's say, use it and so on. And the answer was quite good, yes. We also did some pilot programs with Nationale Nederlanden. This is a big European insurer, and with HTL, which is the biggest in the world manufacturer of diabetic accessories. This is our future, let's say, main partner. And yes, they tested on some people. Also, the feedback is good. And also we see the huge demand from the customers that are all the time trying to contact with us or buy the device, do the pre-order or something. So yes, of course, for the stationary device, this is more for the professional use, like reducing the cost of the healthcare systems for the patients that are mostly, let's say, second type diabetes and for home use. However, the wearable devices is a huge target market.
Okay,
Excellent.
thank you.
Thank you. I'm afraid we have to move on. So keep things on time. Thank you so much to Robert and GlucoActive.
Thank you.
Our next startup is from the Netherlands. I'm pronouncing their startup name Skinive. I hope that's correct. So Skinive is AI solutions for skin health screening using a smartphone camera. As before, Kirill, please wait for the countdown. Make sure that you share your screen and wait for the team to count you in, and then go ahead and start your pitch, and I'll start the timer.
So please.
Hi everyone, my name is Kirill. I'm a CEO of Skinive. Our project started a big story from Emerge conference several years ago. Our project helped to identify the risk of cancer and saved a life of an Emerge conference participant. Let me tell you about our new achievements. Unfortunately, the problem of skin health is global and still relevant today. The large shortage of specialists doesn't help to solve this problem in a traditional ways. Our technology today detects not only skin cancer, but also new classes of diseases. In total, there are 50 nosologists on our list with the accuracy like a dermatologist, and the list continue to grow. We have developed a simple and powerful mobile screening tool for skin conditions. Our application is already used by 100 doctors in their medical practice, and we're happy to receive positive feedback from them. Simple use and great functionality makes it possible to use our solution not only for dermatologists, but also for nurses, GPs, cosmetologists, and even help medical students in their medical practice. Our application is already used by hundreds of doctors in Belarus and Russia. Right now, we active in European market too. We have agreements with different medical centers from different countries and planning to start pilots and sales this summer. There are 4 million of our potential customers for Skinive MD application in the market where we are present. Do you think is it not enough? We have more business and patient solutions to help us scale more fast. We work with the personal and business on a subscription model based on how many images they use each month. We differ from competitors. Our solution identifies much more risks and have more functions. Easy to use and flexible integration tools gives us almost unlimited growth opportunities. We started with a small Belarusian company and MVP. That was, oh, sorry. We started with a small Belarusian company and MVP, a chatbot. Last year, we had a successful demo day at Rockstart Accelerator. We moved our head office to the Netherlands and identified the European Union market as the main one for the next 1 or 2 years. For this, we have received European ISO quality certificate and CE mark. This year, we published our application for healthcare professionals and developer tools. Our dataset is growing rapidly and already one of the largest in the world. But we have a bigger goal. We want to collect 1 million images during this year. But we need more power to enter the European market and grow. We're looking for connections with European Union hospitals and dermatology network. And of course, we invite investors to our seed round. Be free to contact with me for more details. Thank you for your attention. Remember to keep your skin healthy. I will be glad to answer your questions. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Nana, why don't you kick us off with the questions to begin with?
Thank you so much. So being in the health tech market, we're looking for a special value or which any technical tool can add for end users, either patients or healthcare professionals. So having this simple software, what specifically you add to the market, to what specific value? Because let's see, this kind of technology is available, and I know like a bunch of companies using the same tools, and I can just extend your competitive landscape in that case. So that would be interesting to learn. Thank you.
Can you repeat the question?
I mean, the question is what specific value you offer to patient, a part of the simple technology, and so can you please elaborate that?
I got it. So right now we have several products, but we have no product for patient. Of course, we understand that is very important to make a solution for patients. But during last year and this year, we want to validate our solution among the dermatologists, and we want to become a leader in technology. So we, and in the future, we will make skincare infrastructure for patients and for medical specialists.
Okay. Thank you. Not really convinced, but thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Nana. Yes, Hannah, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Kirill, as well from my side. So I want to ask about more on the competitive space. So there are now multiple players coming into the space. I don't know if you heard about Formal Skin, based in Germany, and they are quite a success story, at least from German perspective. So how do you see yourself competing with earlier player like Formal Skin?
As I mentioned before, we already received CE mark on MDR MDD regulation, and we have an easy plan how to apply MDR on second class. So we think that this is a competitive advantage of our solution. Also, we have another kind of business model of our solution. That's why I think we will have a success in a German market too.
Quick follow-up question. So basically, I mean, what is the range of the solution besides the analytics and the assessment of the skin condition and the recommendation engine to say, okay, what treatment is suitable for that? What's the next level for you? Like what's next in the product and in the solution you are offering?
As I told before, right now we can detect 50 types of skin diseases, but we want to cover 150 types of skin diseases. Why this number? Because 80% of all cases of new skin diseases is 150.
And are you planning to offer like the drug delivery or the cream or the drug or delivery to the patient home? Like some other players also have doctor fleet behind them that can prescribe the needed like treatment, and then that treatment gets also delivered to the home steps of patients.
No, we think big potential working with general practitioners and dermatologists. So patients, and so it can be like a telemedicine service powered by artificial intelligence. And we have several integrations with telemedicine service and see big potential in this.
Cool. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Hannah, for those questions. So, Kirill, thank you so much for your pitch. It was great. So, really enjoyed that. All of the pitches have been fantastic so far. So, really appreciate everybody. And we're in the final stretch. It's almost day one of Emerge over, but we still have another startup to go. So, we'd love to welcome to the screen from Armenia, MedPoint Technologies. And MedPoint Technologies are looking at the problem of, sorry, apologies.
Hi everyone, here at MedPoint, we use AI, machine learning, and innovative technology to better diagnose and treat cancer. Lung cancer is the leading cause of death among all cancer types. It kills 2 million people annually, which is more than the next 3 major cancer types combined. The reason for this is that it develops without symptoms, and when it does show symptoms, it's too late to do anything. As a result, the average 10-year life expectancy for lung cancer is only 19%. But if it's detected in its early stages, it has a more than 80% survival rate. Respiratory disease in general are the second leading cause of death. But due to COVID-19, they're now the leading cause of death. The challenge is to detect serious respiratory conditions as early as possible when they show no symptoms. People are dying because of a lack of technology that can detect these diseases in their early stages. But with cancer, this is not the only issue. 10% of cancer cases are due to misdiagnosis. Even in the US, it's very difficult for pathologists to come up with exact diagnosis because they have to examine millions of cells and look for specific cells and how much of each. However, technology can solve these issues. So we have developed 3 product lines to address these concerns: an IoT device for early diagnosis of respiratory diseases, an end-to-end digital pathology platform, and an AI decision support system. The first, and our MVP, is an IoT device for early detection of 7 different types of respiratory diseases, including lung cancer. One only needs to breathe into the device, and it will analyze the exhaled air to let them know whether or not they need to see a doctor. The second is a picture archiving and communication platform that allows pathologists to work collegially and more effectively. It also shows and analyzes the entire history of disease progression, allowing doctors to not only come to the conclusions much faster, but also treat their patients more effectively. Our third product is an AI decision support system for different types of cancer diseases. Right now, being a pathologist and trying to detect cancer is like looking at a satellite map of cares and trying to count all the blue cars. This is very difficult by hand and very time consuming. But with computer vision, you can do this quickly. Our system, all different types of cells and structure, highlights them and generates a quantitative report with the decision and treatment suggestions. This market is really huge and emerging. Even if we only capture 5% of our target market, we would have 1.3 billion. Right now, we have developed a promising nanostructure technology for our early lung cancer detection system. This product is ready, and we are finishing the IoT elements of the device now. We have over 500 pre-orders, and the market has shown that there's a huge amount of demand for our products. We're also finishing our MVP for our picture archiving and communication platform, and we have signed our first agreement to start pilot projects. We are 2 months away from finishing AI modules on our first disease, which is neuroblastoma, the most common type of cancer type among infants. Our AI tool for neuroblastoma is able to reduce misdiagnosis from 10% average in the US and in third world countries, 40%, to just 1%. We are the only one who's able to offer an all-in-one place, including early detection of lung cancer. We combine the best of best technology, medical, and business expertise to make this a success. We began our project 3 years ago, but we will have a fully certified FDA product by August 2022. We're raising $700,000 at a $5 million valuation. Please join us in making a world where cancer and respiratory disease is no longer a death verdict. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you so much. And before we go to our investors for questions, you know it's been a long day when you've been sat in front of the screen for ages and ages and you actually skip one of the startups. So we still have one startup to go after this, so don't worry. But yes, we do have questions. So let's see, could we go to Nana maybe for some questions for MedPoint?
Yeah, thank you so much. So I was wondering about the clinical validation of your concept, and then the second thing that you just included from the diagnostic point, only one diagnostic, the pathology. How about the radiology diagnostic? Because the cancer, especially the lung cancer, is a very complex disease. So clinical validation, and how about the imaging, radio imaging analysis as well? Thank you.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So right now we are about to publish. We have partnerships with a couple of universities that are working to publish articles on nanostructures and that our nanosensors are detecting. So one example is hydrogen peroxide. Individuals with early stage lung cancer, they have 6 times more hydrogen peroxide. So it's minor things like that that we're detecting. What this device is telling patients is that they could potentially have lung cancer and they need to go to hospital to get that checked out. The question is, again, whether is there a way we can get individuals to get themselves checked out for lung cancer? So radiology, that's a more dynamic solution, and that's something that it's going to be very difficult to get everyday individuals to constantly checked out for radiology, even if they think they might have it, because it's such a tedious task. So this solves, so this simple process, our product, solves that issue of getting patients, of eliminating a lot of that problem. Does that make sense?
Thank you, but actually, I mean, I was asking regarding the clinical validation means that sensitivity, effectiveness of your technology, which you offer, and then the comparison to the standard, the golden standard, how you can compare. So clinical trial, that would be definitely helpful to validate your technology. But maybe we can discuss later, so I don't want to take much time.
Yeah,
so,
sure. I'll leave my email below, and then let's chat about this after. But sure. Excellent question.
Thank you.
Excellent, thank you, Nana. Shin, you're looking very thoughtful. Do you have a question?
No, actually, if there's no more questions, I just wanted to ask again that in this clinical validation thing, because this is so important basics. Otherwise, we don't have to discuss other things. And yeah, Could you elaborate a bit the exact stage of your technology and also the how much you have validated the technology already, the like number of samples, number of patients, or you tested, example, any kind of details? That would be appreciated. Thanks.
Yeah, so the right now it's more research project. We're about to publish our papers in science journals, so Nature, Science. We are a bit away from doing clinical trials just due to cost constraints and time constraints. But we're looking at clinical trials in maybe 3 months or so. But the data, short answer is data is kind of validated. If you have time afterwards, I can go on a separate call with you and explain more detail.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Shin.
Sorry,
Tonka.
Yeah, when you start that only within 2-3 months with clinical validation, you will never match your target date for the medical certification.
I'm sorry, can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah.
So this is August.
You will need the clinical validation to get the your product certified.
Yes.
And when I remember well, the planning was to get it next year.
August 2022. Yeah.
That's quite optimistic, I think.
Exactly. So it will take at least a year. So you might be double check the clinical validation with the certification, the CE marking certificate. It's a two different processes.
So yeah, so CE mark, EU, that's a lot easier. I think we can get that in 5 months or so because you don't really, it's a lot simpler process. FDA is a bit more time consuming, but our goal is pretty optimistic, but I think it's still pretty achievable. Having said that, we don't read this device. The goal behind it is to sell directly to patients because we want something for patients. I'm sorry, selling directly to consumers rather than hospitals and institutions. And the idea behind this is that right now, patients, if they don't think they have something wrong with them, they will not go to have it examined. And because of that, the disease progresses to a state where it reaches a near uncurableness. So we made a device that's very simple to use and only costs $200. And technically, we can sell directly to consumers without having FDA certification. So if you think of 23andMe, for example, right? So 23andMe, they are using the same technology that's used in hospitals. But they don't call themselves a medical device company. They call themselves educating individuals. And using that label, they can sell directly to consumers. So the same thing here. We can sell directly to consumers. We can sell it on the website. We can advertise it. But we can't call it a medical device, and we can't sell it in pharmacies, hospitals, until we have FDA certification. But we will be, the idea is we will be revenue positive and cash flow very quickly.
Sorry, I have to push back.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. Push back.
Yeah, so it's actually
very quickly push back now because we have to get to the next startup.
It's a huge research company as well as the consumer company, definitely. But this is two different things what we're talking. So we can discuss it later. But I think there is a pretty much issues in that. So consumer areas is super great to have in health tech. But talking about the cancer, you need definitely comprehensive diagnostic, and it cannot be relied on just the direct to consumer product or tool what you have. Sorry about that, but just let's check it later on. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, and thank you to MedPoint Technologies for your pitch. So now we are at the last startup of this session. I'd love to welcome from Belarus, MEDvidi. MEDvidi is an online and mental health clinic designed to improve access to mental health treatment in the United States. So, Vasily, please make sure that your camera's on, your microphone's on, and you're sharing your. And then wait for the audible countdown, and we will count you in.
Hi, my name is Vasily Rajno. I'm founder and CEO of MEDvidi. MEDvidi is an online mental health clinic. We are founded in 2019 and in Silicon Valley, California. It's about 80 million people in the United States are experiencing mental health issues annually. Due to high cost and shortage of mental health professional, it's very difficult to find the right mental health treatment in the United States and all over the world. Our solution are providing mental health doctors, and it's very easy to get mental health treatments from the comfort of your own home. We are accessible via web app or online. You just download our application, complete the online form, select the time, and speak with a licensed mental health professional. Our main competitors are focusing on therapy, and we keep our focus on chronic mental health conditions and medication management. Market size in the United States is going to reach over $100 billion by 2025, and we aim at 1.5% by 2025, and we will reach over 300 millions in revenue. Our business model is pay as you go. Our patients are paying for the visit. Our average transaction is $172 and with gross margin over 70%. Our customer acquisition cost is about $50 with lifetime value over $326. We made over $2 million in 2020. We are raising a round $10 million, and we want to expand our services to all 50 states. Right now, we are in 8 states. Also, we want to spend this money to integrate with insurance providers to launch our lab tests and at-home kits. Also, we want to start drug sales and medication delivery services and work with digital therapeutics product. Our business team is me as a co-founder and CEO. I am over 10 years in healthcare, founded a few projects previously. And our CTO is Alex. He is a founder of multiple successful projects too. And our best marketing person is Julia. Previously, her multiple companies were backed by Richard Branson and Mark Cuban. Our chief medical officer is Dr. Seth Dinovitz, and we have over 5 medical advisors. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Who shall we come to first for this one? If you'd like, you can just chip in. Nano, I know that you have a question.
Thank you so much. I love the company name MEDvidi. So sounds like MEDvidi and Silicon Valley. Congratulations to launching that in the most expensive place. I'm just wondering, how do you deal with the adherence and compliance of patients, especially in terms of the mental health and medication and so on and so on? So in the chronic conditions, compliance, patients' compliance and adherence. Thank you. You mentioned that you actually dealing with medication management, so this is a huge part of that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you mean by patient compliance, but in order to provide medical services in the United States, we need medical licenses in each state. So we need to form kind of medical corporation in each state. Yes, it's a very difficult process, but we were able to manage it, and we are ready to scale it to all 50 states. And we go state by state by applying for special licenses in each state.
No, compliance means that since the medical doctor prescribed the medication to patient, the patient's supposed to take this medication and follow the prescription. So, and in that case, especially in mental health, some of the patients, they are out of the control, they cannot be, followed up. So in telehealth and different concepts like prosperous medicine with sensors, they can help to the patients with cognitive decline, with any psychiatric diseases, to stick to the medication and to follow up the prescription. So it's a huge part of the disease management and medication management. So you mentioned that, so that's why I'm wondering.
We are doing it as monthly follow-ups. So every month patients are coming back and speaking with our doctors, and they're completing the online forms. So doctor are tracking their results, and based on the consultation, they adjust medication. So it's monthly. Every 30 days, patients should speak with the doctor in order to proceed with the medication treatment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Who else would like to ask a question? That was a shake of the head from Hannah. Senya, do you want to come in on this since we haven't heard much from you? No, all good. I think your pitch answered most of the questions. So congratulations on that, Vasily. And thank you very much for your pitch. That, ladies and gentlemen, was batch 4 of the Venture Lounge. Thank you to all of our startups for your wonderful pitches. Personally, really enjoyed them all. This is a space that I keep very close tabs on, so I was interested to see your solutions. Thank you very much to Hannah, to Ksenia, to Tonko, to Nana, and to Shin. Really appreciate all your comments and all of your advice. And now, of course, it is time for us to bring the content section of day 1 to an end. You still have opportunities, of course, to go into Pine. You'll find that left sidebar down there on Pine. There's lots of different things that you can go and look at there, including the jobs board. There's a speakers lounge where you may find people still there having conversations. You can network with your fellow attendees. And in just over half an hour's time, don't forget the evening meditation powered by Ascona, which is, of course, just as good for health as anything else that I've ever started doing. I meditate daily, and I highly recommend it to everybody. So thank you all once again. Really appreciate everything. And I'll be here tomorrow for day 2 of Emerge. Thank you all.
Thank you.